Hello, my beautiful baby angel kittens. We are at episode 33, my month with a billionaire. So, I am in trouble, y'all. The cool Nobu winds out in Malibu are not enough to cool the hotness that I feel now because I am clearly about to be in trouble because Daddy Harley is standing there looking at me and Scotty, thinking that I have done the great betrayal to him. And Kristen is sitting there like, oh shit. And I see little Dana peeking from behind his shoulder. Her hair is in this tight ass little bun that looks like she is trying to defy gravity with her eyebrows going backwards. And she is just standing there in her smug little blazer looking at us like she caught us. And I'm just like, God damn it, Dana. Of course, where you see Harley, Dana's not too far behind. But then I see over the other shoulder a little person and I'm like, oh, it's Jack. I'm like, okay, well, at least cutie little Jack is here and there's like a little bit of buffer. So maybe we can try to smooth this over because I'm not really sure what's happening right now or how Daddy Harley's going to react. I'm like, I am not going to reward this man's bad behavior by thinking that something is going on when literally nothing is going on. So I'm just going to act like I am here. It is just a very, very pure and innocent dinner because it is. And so I wave at him. I'm like, oh my God, you're here. He looks at me. He looks at Kristen and he just goes, I'm going to go get a drink at the bar because it looks like there's no room at the table. He turns and Danielle looks behind her and she's like, oh my God, Harley. And she's like, hi. She jumps and gives him a hug and he's like, hey, happy birthday. And she's like, oh my God, come sit. Like, we'll make some room. And the tables very clearly has no room. And he was like, no, it's fine. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, we'll get them to bring more chairs and stuff like that. We can squish in. And he's like, no, I don't want to just be like out in the middle of the freaking patio. So it's fine. I'm just going to get a drink at the bar. I'll be back in a minute. And she's like, no, no, no. And he's like, I'll be back. He turns and goes to the other side over to the bar. Dana follows and Jack just turns and looks at me and Kristen. And he's like, hey. And he's like, happy birthday, Danielle. And she's like, oh my God, Jack, it's nice to see you. He turns and follows suit. I look at Kristen and Kristen's like, oh God. I'm like, well, now what do we do? And Scotty's just sitting there like sipping his freaking martini. Like, that's hilarious. I'm like, damn you, Scotty. I'm like, all right, let me go and try and play a little bit of referee. And Kristen's like, I'll go with you. I'm like, thank you. So Gabby's also like, I'll come too. I'm like, yes, power numbers, y'all. So I go with my little girl group. We walk over to the bar and Harley is leaning against the bar and he's just chatting with one of the female bartenders. Dana is sitting right next to him and then Jack is on the other side. And Jack is sipping a beer and then Dana is just sitting there on her phone as usual, texting God knows who because I didn't even realize if this woman has friends. Maybe she's texting her kids. Who knows? I kind of squeeze up and Jack's like, hey, babe. And I give him a hug. And I'm like, hi, sir. He turns and he's like, hello. Gabby's like, Harley. She goes and she gives him a hug. And Kristen's like, don't be grumpy. She's like poking him in the shoulder. And he's like, I'm not grumpy. He's like, I'm just trying to order a drink. Give me a second. He goes back to the bartender and he's like, yeah, let me get a whiskey on the rocks. And Dana's sitting there on her phone and she just looks up. Harley looks at her and Harley's like, say something. And she just looks back down at her phone and I'm like, okay. I turn to Jack and I'm like, hi, babe. It's good to see you out. And he was like, yeah, apparently Harley and Kristen's dad are going to do some business dealings. So I'm here to take notes and be their little bitch. And Kristen's like, oh, well, my parents love you. And he's like, I know. And I just kind of scoot my way in between and I put my head under Daddy Harley's arm and kind of snuggle my way in. And I'm like, sir? He looks at me. He's like, yes. I'm like, hi. And he's like, he kind of cracks a little bit of a smile and he's like, yes, trouble. I'm like, how are you doing? I see that you're here early. I see that you zoomed on over here to see if anything was affray, but nothing is amiss. So hi. And he was like, Kristen, what time are we leaving? Because I don't know how much later your parents are going to be up and I want to get back over there so I can chat with your dad. And Kristen's like, yeah, well, you could have just waited for us over there. Harley goes back to just sipping his whiskey and he is just ignoring any sort of awareness that we're trying to bring to the fact that he did not have to rush and skip jump over here because there was nothing amiss. And Kristen's like, okay, well, we're not done eating it and I just want to stay here until the cake comes out for Danielle and then we can go to my parents' house. And Harley's like, okay, well, I'm ready to leave whenever you guys are ready to leave. And I'm like, okay, is this man really trying to hustle us out of there now? Because I am not on his time and I am not going to feed into this sort of temper tantrum that I can see brewing underneath those chrome hearts glasses and trying to spill out over that white t-shirt. So I'm just like, okay, well, we're going to go back. We're going to finish eating. Are you just going to stay here? Do you want to come back and pull up a chair? And he was like, it doesn't really look like there's room for me. I'm like, we can make room, Harley. And he was like, well, I'm not going to sit next to Scotty. I'm like, I will come and sit on the other side with you. Like, it's not a big deal. And he's like, I didn't realize that you and Scotty were like besties like that now. Kristen's like, oh my God, Harley, can you stop? I look at him and I'm like, you want to have this chat right now? Do you want to like squash this right now? Or do you want to sit here and pout with your drink? Because I'm going to go back over to my new friends and the people that I met because I'm having a good time with Kristen's friends. And Scotty, if you must know, and I just found out that we have a very good mutual friend of ours who we both dearly love. And that's what you walked in on. But you really didn't have to rush over here because you thought that something was going on. You could have waited for us over at Kristen's. He's sipping his drink and he's just looking at me. He does not want to say anything to me right now, y'all. Like, I can tell he is very much trying to keep things undercover and under wraps. The bartender walks back over and she's like, can I get you something? And I'm like, oh no. And she's like, Harley's everything good with you? And he's like, oh yeah, Amanda, this is Kat. I'm like, oh hi. And Amanda's like, oh, it's nice to meet you. And it's like clearly that Harley is known over there and the people know him because he's been going there a lot because it's fucking Nobu Malibu. I'm like, okay, y'all, let's like just go back to the table because I'm not dealing with this. So I kind of turn, and as I'm turning to go back with Kristen to the table, he just kind of grabs my arm from back and just like whips me around a little bit and just grabs me by the head and just kisses me like super forcefully on my face. I'm like, what the fuck? And he just like grabs my head like this and then moves his head back out. And he was like, okay, I'll be here for you when you guys are ready. I'm like, okay, Harley. I walk back to the table, and as we're walking by, I just kind of look to my left, and I see someone at the table that I recognize, and it's Usher. And y'all, the amount of times that I have seen Usher out in LA at different bars and restaurants, like this man is everywhere. But anyways, random side quest, I just see him at the table sitting there with his sunglasses on and wearing a little cream turtleneck, and I was like, okay, Usher's over here. That's cool. We walk back to the table. I, for 1 second, was thinking about telling Kristen to sit next to Scotty instead of me, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, and Scotty hasn't done anything wrong either. So I'm not going to feed into Harley's delusions and this. I am like going to show him that he can trust me and he doesn't need to feel like everyone is conspiring against him. So I'm going to go ahead and sit back down because I ain't doing a damn thing. We sit back down and Scotty's like, are you in trouble? And I'm like, yes, apparently I am in trouble. And Scotty's laughing. And I was like, has this ongoing war just been happening since you guys were born, basically? And he's like, look, I've never wanted to get involved in this crazy drama with Harley and my dad and everything, but the man can hold a grudge, and he does truly believe that people are out to get him. He's the most paranoid guy I've ever met, and my dad has told us from the beginning and swears up and down that everything got super blown out of proportion, and my dad has been trying since then to be friends with Harley again. And I have nothing against Harley, but I just think it's funny that at his grown age, he is still holding this crazy grudge when he's not even with his ex-wife anymore. So I don't know what his deal is. And Kristen's like, look, that's just Harley. You know, like once he gets fixated on an idea, it's very, very hard to change his mind. And it's extremely difficult to make him feel like he hasn't been betrayed when he feels that way, because betrayal is like his number one thing, and being paranoid and believing he can't trust people and having rejection. I'm like, oh, at this grown age, he has so many things going on, y'all. We're all chatting, and me and Kristen are trying to plan with the other girls when they're going to bring over the cake so that we can sing happy birthday and everything, and just the schedule with Kristen's parents. And as I'm kind of like mid-conversation with her and Scotty about it, I look at my phone because I have a little buzz, and I see that is a text from Daddy Harley. I look down at the text, and it just says, you look really beautiful tonight, by the way. I'm like, this man. I look over at him at the bar, and he's just sipping his drink, like looking at me. I'm like, what is this man playing at? You know what I mean? Dana is sitting next to him, like chatting in his ear, and he's just staring at me, daggers. And I'm like, I don't know if I should be scared or turned on because I don't know what's going on right now. But I am like 3 martinis deep, and I am just here for the vibes. And I do not want to get into a fight or a drama or anything with him right now because we've already had a very dramatic past couple days with everything, and just honestly, since our relationship has started. So I'm trying to keep things chill, y'all. They bring the cake out, we sing to Danielle and everything, and then Kristen's like, okay, we can go back. My parents are texting to ask where we are, so let's go back over there and we'll just say goodbye to Danielle and everything. And Danielle and them are like, wait, where are you guys going? And we're like, yeah, we have to go over to Kristen's house and see her parents. And Danielle's like, oh, okay, well, we're all going out to Jumbo's later. Do you guys want to meet up? And Kristen's like, we'll text you and see what we're doing. And Gabby's like, okay, I'm coming with you guys, to us. And Scotty's like, I'll come too. And I'm like, oh God. And Kristen's like, all right, let's go. I'm like, should we worry that Scotty is going to be over at your place with old Daddy Harley as well? And Kristen's like, look, the only way to deal with Harley is not to give in to his delusions. So like, if Scotty wants to come, he is really good friends with my parents as well. So I'm not going to say no. I'm like, okay, I am just along for the ride. We walk over to where Harley and Dana and Jack are waiting, and Harley's like, Kat, you're going to ride with me. And I'm like, You didn't even ask me. You're just telling me. We're walking to the parking lot, and Harley just puts his arm around me and is like walking me towards his car. And I look at Kristen, and Kristen's like, it's fine. And I was like, what about Jack and Dana? Harley's like, they drove here in Dana's Mercedes. I'm like, oh. He takes me over, and I realize that he has driven this other car that I've never seen, which is a McLaren. It is matte black. And I'm like, another car. Okay. He puts me in the car, and I look over, and I see that Scotty is parked not too far away, and Scotty is getting into his Porsche. And Harley just like turns the engine on and just starts revving the engine and is just like looking at Scotty. I'm like, Harley, at your big age, can we relax? Like, oh my God. Get in the car and we pull out. We're kind of driving along and I'm like, oh, I really like Kristen's friends. Everyone's so sweet, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like chatting away, right? And ignoring the steam coming off his body. And he goes, you know what Scotty's doing, right? I'm like, what is Scotty doing, Harley? And he goes, you know that he's trying to use you to make me jealous. I was like, Harley, that is so not what's happening, because Scotty does not care about making you jealous at all. And could it be that maybe that I'm just a nice and cool girl that Scotty wants to be friends with, and that there are no nefarious motives behind why he wants to be friends with me? Because also I'm really good friends with Kristen, who is your goddaughter, who is really good friends with Scotty. And perhaps maybe we're all just getting close because we like each other. And he was like, no, you don't understand. Scotty did this with my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, what did Scotty do with your ex-girlfriend? And he was like, he was constantly trying to hang around her and Kristen and trying to make me jealous with her. And I'm pretty sure that they like had a little bit of a thing on one of the times that me and her broke up. I'm like, what? And he was like, yes, I'm pretty sure that my ex and Scotty had a little tryst while I was in rehab. And like, this group is so incestuous and I don't know what to think, but all I know is I don't want to be involved in this drama. I'm just here for the vibes. So I'm like, Harley, I need you to trust me. And if we're going to build trust and we're going to start on this journey that we've been talking about, which is helping to heal you, I need you to trust that everything that I do is never to make you mad or not in your best interest. Like, I care about you. I care about Kristen. I care about Scotty. I care about everyone. And I'm trying to make you see that nobody's out here trying to do anything diabolical to make you look bad or feel bad. We are all just here for your recovery. And we just want to make sure that you feel okay and safe. And Scotty does not have anything against you. I mean, I know that his dad like wants to be friends with you. And he's like, oh yeah, who told you that, Jim? I'm like, actually, yeah, like at the Troubadour after you left, I had a conversation with Jim. And he was like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah. And I realized that him and I haven't talked about this, right? I'm like, yeah, after you left in a huffy puff, me and Jim were chatting and he really does care about you and he does want to mend the friendship and he does feel like there was just a big misunderstanding. And he's like, yeah, well, it's a pretty big fucking misunderstanding that's been going on for years. I'm like, Harley, life is too short to hold these grudges. And at the end of the day, you trying to hold a grudge against people and being angry and holding on to this anger is helping nobody. It is hurting nobody but you. Literally. So I'm telling you, as someone that has had to learn to forgive a lot of people that have hurt me, it's better to let it go and just move on. You're not even with your ex anymore. Like, just let it go. We're pulling up the Malibu windy roads and we pull up to this beautiful big black gate and it opens up and we roll up into the house that Kristen grew up in. There's like a little 3-car garage on the right. There's a bunch of palm trees over here and then a big entrance. And y'all, the view when you get inside is incredible. But we pull up and it goes Harley, then Kristen, and then the third one that pulls up is Dana. And then on the right side of Harley pulls up old little baby Scotty. And Harley didn't realize that Scotty was joining us because he looks over and he was like, what the fuck is Scotty doing here? I'm like, Scotty is apparently coming to hang out with us as well, so you better play nice. And he's like, ugh. Harley gets out of the car, and I think he's walking around to the side to open my door for me like he always does, and instead, he walks right up to Scotty, and I'm like, oh God. I open my door, and Harley is just in Scotty's face now, and he's just like, what are you doing here? And Scotty's like, I'm here to hang out with my friends, dude. And Harley's like, look, man, you don't need to be here. It's family only. And Scotty's like, what are you talking about? Kristen's my family. She's like my sister. And Harley's like, yeah, well, we're doing some business dealings, so it's family only, so you don't really need to be here. Gabby, who rode with Scotty, she gets out. I'm like, Harley, will you stop? And Kristen walks up and she's like, Harley, stop it. Scotty's smiling at Harley and he just goes, come on, man, you don't got to be jealous of me. Harley's like, jealous of you? Really? Because you don't have to be intimidated by my connection with Kat. I literally started alarm bells going off in my brain. I look at Kristen, she does the same thing. Harley shoves him against his car and everything went fucking berserk, y'all. So yes, episode 34. Drama at Kristen's house, and Scotty is not helping anyone's situation with Harley. And Kristen and I are just mitigating these men and their tempers and their BDE energy that they're trying to swing everywhere, y'all. I love you and I see you. Big hug, big kiss.